Week 2 of the fantasy football season, and here's a few quarterbacks I would bench this week. The first guy, Justin Fields of the Chicago Bears. In Week 1, he had a mediocre ball game, 121 pass yards, 2 touchdowns, an intho, and 28 rushing yards was Justin Fields in a sloppy, wet ball game over there in Soldier Field. It was like a pool in that ball game. But Week 2 here, he's got a tough matchup on Sunday Night Football at the Green Bay Packers, a team coming off a bad loss, 23-7. First division rival, the Minnesota Vikings. And right here, I think Justin Fields, it's going to be a tough ball game here for him in this one. And I don't think he's going to put up enough figures to garner a start this week. So right here, tough matchup, not great receiving core. Darnell Mooney got shut down in Week 1, and so did Cole Kmet. And I could see more of the same type of deal here in this one with Justin Fields. So he's on that offense here, and a tough offensive line that don't give him much protection. I think Justin Fields has a tough ball game, and this Packer defense this week, I have them ranked as my 6th top defense, and I think they have a good game, and Fields doesn't do that much in this one, so I have him as a quarterback to bench this week. The second quarterback, Jameis Winston of the New Orleans Saints. So Jameis Winston, he had a good Week 1 in a comeback victory versus the Atlanta Falcons, 269 pass yards, 2 touchdowns, 9 rushing yards, and a 2-point conversion. So it was good to see Michael Thomas scored 2 touchdowns in that one after 2 years of pretty much not playing and not knowing what you're going to get from him, from Michael Thomas. So Winston and him had a good rapport. Chris Olave, he looked decent, and Jarvis Landry went over 100 yards. But right here in Week 2, this is going to be a tough matchup versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, a defense that could get to the quarterback and a defense that obviously could cause havoc, and we saw them get to Dak Prescott early and often and even break his thumb in that one. So right here, this is a division matchup. I don't think Winston is going to put up the performance like he did in Week 1. And I think he could still get anywhere from 15 to 18 fantasy points. But there's a bunch of quarterbacks I'd rather have him in my starting lineup than is Winston. So this week here with a tough matchup and obviously a division matchup, I don't think it bodes well for Winston, where this ball game could be a tight, grinded out game for both teams here. And this Buck defense, when they smell blood, they really get to the quarterback and finish the job. So I think here they have a good ball games, Tampa Bay, and it'll be a tough game for Winston in this one. And the third and final quarterback I would bench this week's Trevor Lawrence of the Jacksonville Jaguars. So Lawrence, he liked some of his new weapons here in Week 1. We saw Zay Jones have a decent game with 65 yards receiving, and Christian Kirk, what a ball game he had. Him and Lawrence already were hitting in sync, and Travis Etienne had a good game as well with a couple catches out of the backfield. Even though it is his second year, he was out for the year last year with the torn Achilles. But with all that said, he's Lawrence, 275 pass yards, a touchdown, and an intho at the Commanders. And here in Week 2, he's got a stiff matchup. Here's Trevor Lawrence versus the Indianapolis Colts. Another Indianapolis Colts defense didn't look all that great in Week 1 versus the Houston Texans. But right here, Trevor Lawrence, still a young quarterback. It was good to see him and his new weapons have a decent rapport. But right here, I think it's going to be a tough division game here for him. This Colt defense, they're going to come out and get to the quarterback. And this offensive line, obviously, isn't that great over there in Jacksonville. So right here in Week 2, I think the Colts defense makes it tough for Trevor Lawrence. And he's a quarterback I wouldn't start in 12-team leagues. So right here, that's a few quarterbacks I would bench here for Week 2 of the fantasy football season.